Today I'm going to show you how to clean an IAC valve for a Mazda 626. It can also be the same IAC valve used or found on the Ford Probe or Mazda MX-6, as well as other possible models, maybe a Protege, Telstar, and so on. Here's a list of supplies that you're going to need. A rag, because you will be detaching a coolant line, so you need something to catch your coolant. Just a little bit of excess, but you don't want that getting all over the place. Throttle body cleaner. You can also use carburetor cleaner, brake cleaner. Regular Phillips head screwdriver. Torx head set. The Torx bits that you need have the hole in the middle. They do offer a set that does not have the hole in the middle. You need the ones with the hole in the middle. Also, some vice grips to get at the clamps. Additional clamps in case you mess up the factory clamps. The factory clamps are plier lock clamps. I've chosen to swap it out with a worm clamp. That way it's just a little bit easier for me. But those plier lock clamps require pliers. There's no other way of getting them. I've also got a pair of vice locks, which I've actually found a little bit easier to use than the robo grips because they lock. Okay, there's the part in question. That's the top of the IAC. It sits right on top of the throttle body. Right to the left of the intake. You can see that clamp on it. And I'm going to zoom it out. Something like that. So you can see the disassembly process. For whatever reason, looks like there's a little bit of coolant coming out here. But that's got a gasket on it. But for whatever reason, these end up getting rusted shut. Tight, real tight. And you might need some pliers to loosen those. We'd recommend taking off the hose first, then going at the screws. There are many people that have stripped these screw heads, trying to loosen this. So just be careful with these and go slow. First thing we want to do is to detach the coolant hose clamp, which is this big fat hose that goes down to the top of the tube there. There we go. Okay, so for all you guys that have tower bars, it's going to be a little bit complicated. One thing that you're going to want to do is to disconnect the IAC connector, and it's held in place with a bracket. This little piece goes over a bracket. You just pinch the two sides in and you can lift this up and out. Make it a little bit easier to work with it. Okay, so I can't get the screw. So what I've done is taken a regular drill bit or a drill head attachment and put it in my ratchet set. So I'm hoping that's going to work. There's really no good way of see, but I can't turn it. It's up against the face of a block. I can't turn it. I seem to have reached an impasse. God damn it. Okay, so I've probably spent about 2 hours working at this thing the other day, and I didn't get anywhere. So basically left it like that overnight. In fact, today, which is the next day, and while I was dreaming, literally, of a way to try and get this out, I came across an idea of using the lock grips on the Phillips head screwdriver, using the end and a hammer to bang in there, because what I found was that because this head was stripped, it means it's soft. It's not going to strip if it's not soft. So if it's soft, then by using a hammer on the end, should be able to pound it in there. Then using the lock grips on the farthest end to give you the most leverage, it finally turns. So now I'm going to do that with the rest of them, but I won't be able to do that for the Torx bit down here, so that's kind of concerning me. Okay, so I've been going at this third screw back here for about 3 days. Yeah, 3 days. And pretty pissed off, so I'm going to cut it off. What I've been doing is using a vice locks on a screwdriver, hammering it, twisting it. That's how I got the first 2 off. Did the same thing with the Torx screw. The Torx screw came right out so easily, as a matter of fact, that I wish all of them were done in either Torx screws or hex heads, but not screw heads, because they stripped easily, like butter, and it's not cool. So yeah, hopefully I won't cut a finger off or something. Who knows? Could get exciting. Okay, I noticed there's a lot more sparks than I had thought, so also a lot more debris, so I'm covering up the IAC pipe and covering all the fuel lines and everything just in case. That's where I had to Dremel. You can see the tower bar is right in the way. That's the Torx screw, that came out fine. That screw stripped. Finally got that by hammering it. Same thing with that one. That one I had to Dremel. 3 days on that stupid screw, 1 screw. That's what it looks like inside the vacuum assembly. It's just a pin in there. Okay, this is the back side of the IAC everybody's familiar with. But what maybe some of you haven't seen is what's inside. So here's a video on that. This is the Mazda 626 Ford Probe IAC. This is a spring. It's really sort of, I don't know what you would call that, sooty. It's got a lot of black soot on it. And I'm not going to disassemble it right now, but this whole plunger assembly will end up coming out and cleaning that up as best I can tonight. Oh my god, I can't believe I finally got that thing out. That 1 screw back here, I don't know if it's hard to see, that screw right there, it's angled towards the intake manifold. So I have to take off the intake manifold to pretty much get that screw, and I'm not going to do that, so screw it. Or not screw it. I'd like to get that whole thing off. Oh yeah, you can see the rest of the bolt sticking out there. One neat thing is this side is threaded, but the opposite side of this housing is not threaded. So all I had to do is cut off the head of that bolt and it just slid right through. So yeah, I wasted 3 days for nothing. I could have just done that and been done with it. The whole thing is not threaded, it's just that half.